Archer, is everything ready?
The Shire Moot will soon begin. Will you join us, Eivor? We'd be comforted by your presence.
Yes, I'm curious to see this Shire Moot for myself. I'll follow. When will the boat begin, Abbess?
12 able lords of Lincolnshire have already cast their stones, but they have reached a tie. 4 votes for each man. It now falls to you to break this impasse.
Me? By whose order?
You have earned the trust of our 3 candidates, it seems. Even our bishop has found a certain fondness for your hardy spirit.
It's an important vote for your people. How would you counsel my vote?
I value competent and righteous leadership, not foolish friends in high seats.
Anyone but Hunwald, you mean?
I love Hunwald as I love my own kin. But I would not put a stone in his care without fearing for the safety of both. I pray that God guides your vote today, and not the devil, as I fear.
King Ceolwulf's attendant, aren't you?
Aye. The king sends his love and support. Whatever happens here today shall have his full blessing.
He's learning fast. Good man. How are you, Lord?
Have I heard aright? That you have come to break us from our deadlock?
I have, Lord. Have you any advice before our vote?
Lord Hundbaor was a bold and honest man, if somewhat reckless. The same qualities in his son. Therefore, Hunwald is my man.
Good evening, Alfgard.
Eivor, I hope it's not untoward of me to solicit your support, but I do need it. The vote is closer than a cat's whisker.
It's a difficult choice, Alfgard. Know that I won't make it lightly.
Good, good. But let me say unreservedly that I am the man who will lead Lincolnshire into progress and victory.
I don't doubt your convictions, Lord. Grim, good to see you again.
A hearty hello, Drenger. Seems Britain is getting quite used to the idea of Danes stalking her shores.
Where do you fall in this contest, Grim? Alfgard is a friend of yours, is he not?
He is, and a good man as well. But I cast my stone for the bishop.
The bishop? That's an odd strategy.
These Christians are easy to nudge about. So desperate they are to avoid a good fight, they'll agree to most anything a Dane says.
A vote for Hunwald will return the House of the Ferocious Swan to its former glory.
How fare you, Lord?
My prayers are fervent and my will is strong, Eivor. I will bring joy to this Shire.
There's more to good leadership than merrymaking. You must be strong and stern and willing to take risks.
Of course, of course. Strength and wisdom and fortitude and all that. I shall rise above the peat moss of mediocrity. Have no fear.
That's good to hear. Bishop,
Eivor, I must thank you for your fearless participation in our moot.
I'm surprised to hear you vouch for me, Bishop.
I surprised myself, to be honest. But I felt it would be a good test of God's faith in my judgment. Under my guidance, this Shire is crawling back from a decade of lawlessness. God knows the love that lives in my heart for the people of Lincolnshire. I pray now that he guides your hand accordingly.
Quite a gambit, Bishop. Mad enough to work, it may be.
Well then, I thank you for what it's worth. God go with you.
Three men, three possible futures. Which of these sad puppets will dance best when you call upon them? It's not for myself I must cast this stone, but for my clan. Who will serve us best in a time of true need? Where you stand in another's heart, choose only for yourself. All three have strengths and weaknesses. Hunwald is not the most cunning or clever, but he has heart and spirit. Both go a long way in times of need. Though tinged with arrogance, Alfgar is competent and wealthy. He'd be a good Ealdorman, but a faithful ally? The bishop can be stuffy and wallows in Christian piety. But he is wisest of the three, and has already proven himself. Hunwald is not the most cunning or clever, but he has heart and spirit. Both go a long way in times of need. Lead your Shire with pride, ferocious swan.
Shire moot, that the Ealdorman of Lincolnshire shall be no. This Shire moot's decision is not final, but advisory. It now falls to our newly anointed King Ceolwulf to ratify our choice. To this end, we need not worry. Ceolwulf is a friend to Saxon and Dane alike, and he is sure to approve the results. Our good and noble friend, Arthelswith.
A septic rot has overtaken this Shire. A sickness for which there is only one cure.
Your Grace! What is this?
Nobles of Lincolnshire, stand fast!
For the glory of the ancients, leave none alive! We have the
welcome to New Eldorman.
This one's gone. Find those who still draw breath. Polish your ass, Hunwald. The Alderman's seat is yours. As your war council, I suggest you waste no time in catching this grief totter. You won't be far.
We should first bury our dead, no?
That choice is yours to make, Ealdorman.
Yes. Yes, of course. We'll bury our dead, then raise a feared.
I am at a loss for words. A trusted man of the cloth. I will pray for these martyrs, and tend to the remaining wounded, until the last man walks free.
Be well, Archer.
And you, Eivor. May God, or the gods, you.
keep the peace.
A bold attack, and in broad daylight.
What news, Hunwald?
We've learned that Herewrith rode for the fort at Annikastre following the massacre. Feared there. Quite a large one, in fact. They eagerly await your orders, Eivor.
You mean your orders, Ealdorman?
Ah, yes, that's right. My orders. Which are what, exactly?
Who can say? Ride with me to your camp, and we'll find out together.
Herewrith was a friend of my father's and always so dear to me. I don't understand what possessed him.
He invoked the name of an ancient order before his men attacked. I know exactly what possessed him.
Do you?
It's not a story for now.
This will send waves of disgust through all the parishes of Mercia. Herefrith is a new and ugly stain on the bishopric.
Your Christ was an interesting man, if a little soft. But stranger still, I've met so few Christians like him.
Today has been a boon, Eivor. In spite of everything, I now know my father's spirit still burns within me. It's thanks to you I know this. When songs are sung of the day Lincolnshire was saved, your name will ripple through every stanza.
Don't be hasty, Hunwald. One verse of our song remains unsung. The din of battle beckons.
You pagans and your appetite for battle. I certainly don't share it. I worry what diabolical feast the bishop has in store.
Don't let that poxy bishop worry you. With Eivor beside us, he'll be victuals before long. How has Atcha taken all this? She and Herewrith were so close.
She must feel as though the devil himself attacked her monastery.
Elated by a man who should be God's gladdener. Here's the camp, do you see? The Fyrd will soon be ready for action.
Give them mead and let them rest. There's hard fighting ahead.
Our warsmith has arrived. The Fyrds are ready to fight.
Chieftain Eivor, can we win this fight with the men you see assembled here?
If they fight with the bravery of double their number, we may.
And is there room in your Valhalla for a ferocious swan?
Of course. Let fly your glorious banner.
Are we ready then?
We attack now. Ready the Fyrd.
Our first task will be to breach the outer wall. Then we deal with the troops inside.
The best way to breach is with a battering ram. I should help it along.
That's enough!
Look out! Foil!
challenge.
You lack a...
Herefrith has gone mad. You, point me to the bishop. No one else need die today.
He's in the chapel there, hiding away. Scandalous coward.
Let no one leave that church without facing judgment.
Thomas and Phyllis son of Tumur, Alamis Philip
There's a respite, Lord, please. Our battle's lost.
God, my boy! Kill this tyrant! For your sins!
None more for thee shall.
I died the day I hid behind these robes, this cross. To bring the light of my order to a wider view, I debased myself. Clawed my way to the top of this common religion, full of common men. I should have lived as the ancient dead.
That's the folly of mankind, Herefrith. We wallow in our failures like happy pigs in a sty of shit. We should have learned to enjoy it.
Eivor, is the bishop dead?
He bled too little and talked too much. Now he's gone.
I won't miss him. But Atcha will need some time to grieve.
Be careful in the coming weeks. There may be others who wish you harm. Herefrith was not the only member of his order in Mercia.
I shall hold to my friends with every fiber of my constitution, and watch my back for iron daggers.
Lincolnshire is yours to lead, Ealdorman. Now.
The din of battle still rings in my ears. I think I now know what it means to be a leader.
Good.
I would ask a favor, if I could.
Name it.
As Ealdorman, my life may be a dangerous one. For a time, anyway. Would you allow my Swanborough to take refuge in your settlement? At least until I feel all danger has passed.
We'd be happy to have her.
Thank you, my sturdy Norse berserker. The mead halls of my shire will be lonely without you stomping about.
Our people are bonded now. We must look out for one another.
Blast it. I am a horror with goodbyes.
It'll do for now. Now it seems the wind calls me back to Ranji. Let's tell her the good news.
One more, and only because you all have such good... Now, this one begins a long time ago at a desert oasis, far away. A place of mystery, wonder, and a temple to a hidden god. The guardian of this temple was a proud man, kingly in nature, but not in fact. A protector of holy wisdom. And this protector had a wife, a scholar, who spent her days reading ancient tomes and deciphering the secrets of the desert. Together they had a son, in whom they hoped to instill all their skill and knowledge. The boy was to be a union of their love. But then it came to pass that the king of that land arrived to seize the temple for himself. The protector resisted. In the battle that followed, the boy was killed and the temple was taken. Struck with grief, the protector and the scholar separated.
A king who kills a child is an ergi. They should kill him back.
Indeed. But for a long time, the protector...
What tiden the Eivor?
Lincolnshire is a friend to us.
Wonderful news. And who is our ally there?
The boy Hunwald is the new Ealdorman of Lincolnshire, and he has sworn allegiance to us.
The loud one, an Ealdorman? Well, should he ever wish to call for aid, he need only shout.
Oh, look at you, Chewie. Stretch your wings. Baker is done, Tobin. And our feasting table will be warmer for it.
Eivor, that is kind of you. I hope one day I can repay you.
You are among friends here. There's no need.
No need, but a desire. An earnest one. I remember the good things people do for me. To warm my heart in times when kindnesses are few and far between. There was one more thing, though, if you had a moment. A grain merchant has set up downriver. I want to bring a half-dozen bags home, but I would need an extra pair of hands.
I can lend a hand.
That's a relief. I did not fancy asking Holger.
Tarbin, what brought you to our clan?
Heard folk say a band of hard-drinking, battle-scarred warriors had washed up on shore. Said you had settled in the center of Mercia, taking in whatever flotsam, jetsam, and jumble of misfits came to your docks. More than anything. Always been a bit of a drifter. The thought of settling in a rowdy camp felt like a good balance. And being a baker, I knew my services would not be sniffed at.
I did not take you for a baker when we met. You have the look of someone who swings an axe.
I do hear that a lot.
But baking is your only craft, is that right?
I have always enjoyed it. And I have always been good at it, but when I'm not able to find such work, I take odd jobs where I can. So long as I can work with my hands.
Well, we have that in common.
A question, Eivor. You're a warrior, a fighter. That much I know. But if you could stop fighting, what would you do?
You asked the wrong question. I can stop fighting, but to do so would be to deny the essence of who I am. I think you mean, if I had to stop fighting, what would I become?
No, you've given me the answer I wanted. It's good you found what calls you. A rare and happy thing.
Yes, I see you both. What can I... It's you. What are you doing in Mercia?
Collecting grain. 30 silver's worth if you can spare it. I do have the coin.
Right. Well... take what you need and get going.
That should cover it. Thank you kindly.
Of course. And you take good care of yourself. Yeah?
Is that your usual vendor? He seemed a little surprised to see you.
Did he? Well, could be he knows somebody who looks like me. There's no shortage of big bearded men around here, yeah?
I suppose not. About your question earlier, what would I do if I weren't a warrior? I would ask the same of you. Is baking bread your greatest wish?
Is there something wrong with wanting to bake bread? The Romans baked bread. The Egyptians baked bread.
It is a fine trade. But is it your calling?
It is my calling to feed people, I'd say. To be of service to those I care for, and who care for me. That brings me joy.
Put that way, it is a noble pursuit.
I don't know that it's noble. It is simply what gets me up in the morning. It gives me purpose for the rest of my day.
Need help with your grain?
No need, no need. I'll do the rest myself. Bring it in and put it where I like.
All right. It was good to speak with you, Tobin. A welcome diversion.
You too, Eivor. Thank you for your help.
Eivor!
But for a long time, the Protector and the Scholar followed solitary paths, seeking for a way to revenge their son. But in their isolation, they found only anguish and pain. Alone, they could do nothing but weep and thrash at the fates. After many fruitless years, they came together again to mourn their failure. They embraced as they had in their youth. And in that joining, they realized what was missing. Only the union that had produced their son would lead to their victory. So the Protector taught the Scholar to fight and ride and seek, while the Scholar taught the Protector wisdom and deep knowledge. As they trained and studied, they became inseparable, moving, eating, sleeping as one. They were never seen apart. Until one day, they met upon the river's edge. They had learned all they could. Her from him from her. It was here and separated. She traveled east, he west. They were never seen again. It is said, however, that once every year, 2 eagles would return to that very spot to linger and look upon the sea. The people of the region like to see these eagles, for they are an omen, a symbol of protection.
They turned into birds, like Loki became a salmon.
Perhaps. Still, others say that the eagles were their children, born of a love that could never endure. But who is to say for sure?
A stirring story. Fanciful, but sincere enough.
Me? Fanciful? All of my stories are perfectly and mostly true. Hello there.
I have to go. See you soon.
See you later.
I have to go.
Then go in peace.
Who could Guthban be? One of us?
Tekla, you look like you wrestled a bear. Is something wrong?
Gods, Eivor, I was robbed on the road between here and Lincoln.
By who? Did you get a good look at them?
They were Saxons, I know that much. A pack of them lifted 4 barrels of my ale and all the coin I had on me. The biggest one pulled me off my horse and stuck his mouth in my ear, said, "Tell Guthban we expected him home soon."
Guthban? That's Battlebone in the Saxon tongue. Are you sure?
That's what he said. It's not someone here, is it?
Not that I know of.
I do not begrudge us taking in orphans, Eivor, but some of these Saxons, we hardly know them. You ought to ask around.
A good idea. You take care of yourself. Let me see to this.
Thank you, Eivor.
Ah, a new letter. Oh, look at you, Chewie. Tarbin, do you have a second? I was wondering if...
I am Guthban, Eivor. It means Battlebone. Not the name of a cheery baker, is it?
Not one who bakes bread, no. So, how did you earn this name?
Before I came here, I lived another life. A brutal, bloody life. I served with a gang of mercenaries. I was their weapon, roaming the wilds of England. Did whatever they asked of me. And all they asked was violence. When I left, I laid this sword on the grass and made a vow. I swore never to spill another drop of blood. To abandon acts of violence. To never kill again.
A hard promise for a hard man.
It wasn't. Not for me. This life here is all I've ever wanted. I've never been more at peace. This is my doing. I brought all this upon you. It is down to me to fix it.
Tarbin, by threatening you, they threaten my clan. I cannot allow that.
These men are foul, Eivor. You should not have to fight my battles for me.
Do you not hear me, Tarbin? If they threaten you, they threaten me. So let us face them. Together.
Very well. Meet me outside when you're ready. I believe I know where they will be.
If you wish to face your old friends, I'm ready when you are.
Good. I'll lead the way. I want you to know, should it come to blows with my old crew, I can handle it myself. Forgiving me is all the work you need to do.
There's nothing to forgive. You walked away. Must be done to protect my clan.
You're living the life you want, aren't you?
Before we are spotted, tell me what I should expect here. Will they attack us on sight?
I shouldn't think so. No. Nothing like that. It's not how Wilf operates. Yes, he's a clever one. And rather kind when you meet him. Makes you feel like you're a friend. Family, even. I met him a decade ago, and he was the first person to truly welcome. To see some value in me. He told me I had a gift. For intimidation. Persuasion. Violence. Just by the size and strength of me, he knew how to use me.
So what do they want from you now?
They'll want me back. They'll want us and massive. Wilf and them were the only family I had then. But their love was conditional. Wilf only loves what he owns.
So what do you intend?
I know I won't go back. I don't want more blood on my hands. But apart from that, it's hard to say. Who knows what they have in mind?
You killed him! Die! Yeah!
We're stopping.
That house, there. They're likely within. It won't look like much, Eivor. But don't be fooled. And don't take Wilf like seems. The man is a serpent.
I've met plenty of charmers who turned out to be snakes.
I know. Only a warning. Let's go inside.
Gothman, my boy, as I live and breathe, you got my message. And you brought a friend. Who might you be, Dane? His new leash?
I am Eivor, and the woman you robbed was one of my clan. That will not stand.
I know. I'm busted up about it. But tell Tekla, was it? Tell her that her ale is some of the finest we've tasted.
I am done with you, Wilf.
But we are not done with you, boy. We gave you food, shelter, ale to drink, riches galore. We made you who you are.
For all you did for him, he repaid you with blood and sweat. Did he not?
You're a fiery one, I like that. But the ink was dried on this deal well before your number arrived in England. If you wish to clear Tarbin's name, I'm happy to help with that. It's only a small matter of cost. Some weeks back, soldiers confiscated my personal wares, shall we say. Tried to confiscate me as well, but I gave them the slip. If you're keen, longings and return them to me. Do that, and your name is clear.
I can't. I promised myself I would leave all this behind. But...
If it will clear Tarbin's name, we will recover what is yours. Where are these soldiers?
camped not far to the west. A battalion of bloated, brainwashed military men. You can't miss it for the smell.
Wait here, then. We will return before you sprout another pair of horns.
God go with you, Eivor.
You found it!
I did. Let's bring this back to
You
boat.
handled that better than I would have.
Is this the sort of work you did with Wilf and your family of marauders?
A quick robbery like this? That was the least of our work. We stole from the poor, killed the helpless, cheated the dim-witted. We were lower than slugs. I shudder to remember our best days, and I weep for our worst.
Let it go, then. Remember only what makes you a better man.
Oh, they have returned.
We have your goods.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Put them there.
The ledger.
Of course. Happy to honor it. My goodness, these days. It's a dark age, no mistake.
That's it, then. We're done?
Aye. You are free to walk from this place and live as Tarbin the boring bread maker for the rest of your days. But you, Eivor, if you ever get tired of the settled life, we could always use a thief with your skills. Think about it.
Tarbin, are you satisfied?
Yes. I cannot thank you enough, Eivor. I feared the worst when I heard my old moniker, Guthman. Hadn't heard it in years. Dredges up fearful memories.
I imagine. How did you fall in with that bunch?
After my mother died, I sought family. Wilf offered it. He looked at me, took me in and told me who I was. Who I could be. I don't crave that belonging anymore. Among you lot, people accept me as I am. The greatest gift I ever got.
That is a rare thing.
That means a lot. Thank you. Think Tekla will be upset with me when she learns why she was robbed?
She's a kind enough woman, and she has faced greater dangers than a few thieves.
I suppose you don't build a clan of warriors without seeing your share of danger? You caught my attention, you know. The moment I first saw you, I knew. You have an empathy. I see it in your eyes. Having witnessed it, you see a problem and you solve it. For you know it is better to see it done than to let it fester.
The curse of leadership, I suppose.
A calling, but you wear yours well. It's good to be home again. That is, if I haven't robbed myself of the pleasure of calling it home.
Tarban, in spite of all, you're welcome here. And you owe us nothing but the work you love.
Right. Payment in fresh loaves of bread. I can manage that.
But first, one scrap of your past remains.
Right. The ledger.
Toss it, and purge the past.
With pleasure.
Oh, look at you, Chewie.